Right now, in nurseries all over the world, parents are stacking shelves with flashcards, building blocks that claim to boost IQ, and apps that promise to make their baby smarter before they can even walk. Billions of dollars every single year spent chasing something that turns out to be free. Researchers at Harvard Center on the Developing Child have spent over 20 years studying what actually shapes a baby's brain in those first months of life. And what they found wasn't a product, it wasn't a class, it wasn't anything you could put in a shopping cart. It was a 5-minute habit, something so small, so ordinary that most parents do it by accident a few times a day and never realize what it's actually doing. They call it serve and return, and once you understand what it means, you will never look at your baby's little glances, sounds, and pointed fingers the same way again. Because in those tiny moments, something is happening that no toy on the market can replicate. Picture your baby lying on their playmat, a mobile spins gently above them. Out of nowhere, they let out a small ooh and turn their head toward you, eyes wide, waiting. That tiny sound is not random, it's a signal. Researchers call it a serve, a small piece of communication your baby is sending out into the world, aimed directly at you. And what happens in the next few seconds matters more than almost anything else that will happen to your baby that day. If you look back at them, smile, and say something as simple as, "Oh, I see you, I hear you," you've just done something remarkable. You've completed the loop. That's the return, and in that split second, thousands of neural connections fire and strengthen inside your baby's developing brain. This is literally how the architecture of the mind gets built, not through programs or products, but through these tiny exchanges repeated over and over throughout the day. The science behind this is stronger than most parents realize. A landmark study led by Dr. Rachel Romeo at MIT used brain imaging to look at what actually predicted stronger language and thinking skills in young children. It wasn't how many words a child heard in a day. Plenty of children hear a huge volume of words and still fall behind. What mattered was something much more specific: the number of back and forth exchanges between a child and their caregiver, conversational turns, not conversational volume. And here's the part that should feel like relief instead of pressure. This effect held true across every income level, every family structure, every kind of home Romeo's team studied. You don't need a special background, a particular education, or extra money to give your baby this advantage. You need attention. That's it. Your baby doesn't know the difference between a fancy nursery and a plain one, but their nervous system absolutely knows the difference between being noticed and being missed. There's a famous experiment that shows exactly what's at stake when these small moments go unanswered. In the 1970s, developmental psychologist Dr. Edward Tronick designed what's now known as the still face experiment. A mother sits with her baby, playing, smiling, responding to every little sound and expression. The baby is bright, engaged, delighted. Then, on cue, the mother's face goes completely still. She doesn't leave the room, she simply stops responding. Within seconds, the baby notices. They try everything to bring her back: bigger smiles, reaching hands, pointing fingers. When nothing works, they become visibly distressed, not because their mother disappeared, but because her responsiveness did. The moment she starts answering again, the baby's whole body relaxes. The world feels safe again. That's the reframe worth sitting with. Your baby isn't just quietly absorbing the world around them all day. They're actively reaching for you, dozens of times an hour, in ways so small, most parents never notice them at all. So here's what to actually do with that information. 3 simple steps, no products required. First, notice the serve. When your baby makes a sound, glances at something, or reaches toward you, pause and follow their gaze. That's the whole first step. Just seeing it. Second, return it with warmth. If they're staring at the ceiling fan, you might say, "You see it spinning? Round and round it goes." If they point at the dog, "Yes, that's Max. He's coming to say hi." The exact words matter far less than the fact that you met them where they were looking. Third, leave space. After you respond, pause and let your baby send the next signal. That rhythm, serve, return, pause, serve again, is where the real building happens. Now compare that to what's sitting in the nursery closet. A flashcard can't notice what your baby is actually curious about. An app can't lean in and light up when your baby reaches for it. Even the most expensive developmental toy on the market, from a brain science standpoint, is a silent, one-way object next to a few minutes of a parent who actually looks, listens, and answers back. Think back to that baby on the playmat letting out a small ooh, turning toward you, waiting. That moment happens 100 times a day in your house, whether you notice it or not. A glance at a bird outside the window, a finger lifted toward a passing car. Every one of those is an invitation. You don't need a perfect response. You don't need the right words. You just need to show up for it. Here's what's true even on the days that feel like you're barely keeping up. If you're the kind of parent who's willing to learn something like this, you're already answering more of those signals than you realize. 5 minutes a day, spread across the ordinary moments you're already living through, will do more for your baby's brain than anything sitting on a store shelf. If this changed the way you'll look at your baby today, consider subscribing. We put out a new science-backed video like this every week, uncovering the small, everyday moments that are quietly shaping your child's mind. A quick like helps another parent find this video too.